To link the research ideas to a robust research topic is not a easy job. You might have some research ideas in your mind, but those ideas not necessarily are suitable for a academic research project. So in terms of these research ideas, where can you find those ideas that are more likely to be the source of your research topic? You need to think about what interests you the most when you are learning this module. What's genuinely interests you in terms of those topics that has been covered in the previous courses or units? And also, what are the lecturers and tutors who taught you researching on? That is a very good and very interesting kind of solution here. While you could discuss the research topic with your supervisors as well, of course, is to find out what they are interested or what they're researching on. And quite often, those topics are the cutting edge, if you like, of the field of research. Have you discussed the idea with your classmates and friends? So sometimes if you have an idea, but you're not really sure whether that's a great idea for a research project or research topic, then feel free to discuss it with your classmates and friends. And quite often, uh, through this discussion, you will have a more clear idea whether that's a suitable topic. And also, what are the hot topics discussed on media that is relevant to what you're studying? And as the international business student, it's actually a really, really useful way to investigate. And I show you a few of the topics that I've just randomly picked up from the past 1 week that are news reports or editorial reports from the Financial Times. Of course, you could use other reliable sources of information such as The Economist, Times, BBC News reports, and all those news agencies they cover extensively in terms of international business activities. And I've just chosen a few that I think are interesting from Financial Times. Of course, they're generating hundreds of news reports on a daily basis, and I've just randomly picked a few. And that is a really great way to inspire yourself, if you like, of the the topics that's being fiercely discussed at the moment. But of course, because the news agencies they tend to discuss only the in-trend kind of topics, so you need to keep in mind that it's probably very timely um, topics. It's probably not topics that could last for a few years. However, the impact of something happening now could last for many years, and some of the news are talking about, of course, the impact of the previous events, which lasted to today. So in your tutorial, we'll look at these topics again more closely, and by then we'll have a series of exercises for you to do individually and as a group, just to get you more inspired in terms of how to change an idea into a robust research topic. So for the research topic, it will be important that you could clearly define it uh, before you start to use it in the research project, in the dissertation writing project process. You're required to have a research question. So the research question is different from your research topic, of course. And we'll look at the difference very soon. But you're required to have a research question in your written research proposal. And the research proposal is, of course, the assignment for this unit. So you will need to have a research question, a clear defined research question for the assignment of this unit. The reason we ask for a research question is because it allows you to pinpoint the issue or problem that you are trying to investigate. And that's very important because we as examiners or readers want to find out as soon as possible what you're talking about in your article. If I finished reading the article and still not sure about what you're trying to deliver as a message, then it's not a robust piece of research. One of the key criteria for your research success will be whether you have a clear conclusion from the data you've collected. This is very much built on top of your research question because you could only have a clear conclusion if your research question are clear and straightforward. That is saying you could only have a clear answer to a question if the question itself is not ambiguous. The research question will be at the center of your research project. There's no need for me to emphasize it, more often that you need to have a very clear, defined research question. And of course, that will have an impact on your later literature review, your research design, your access to data, your data analytics, and at the end, your conclusion. So what's a great research question? Now we're moving on from research topic. We're moving on from the title of your dissertation to the research question. They are different. The title is the title, your research question. Well, if you like, you could use your research question as a title. That's no problem. But title could be a confirmation sentence. It could be something like, okay, the title of my research is stress and the well-being of postgraduate students at MMU. But your research question is actually something you pinpoint, you're researching on, you're investigating on. So that could be what is the level of stress has been experienced by postgraduate students studying international business management at MMU. So you could instantly see that research question is more precise, it's more focused, and it allows you, you have more space to write about research question. I don't mind if you have 2 lines of research question, but if it's 2 lines of topic or title, it's probably too long. So you can see the difference here already. So what's a good research question? A good research question addresses significant challenges, reasons, and evaluations rather than asking for a descriptive answer. So your research question, this question itself, is not a simple descriptive question. It evaluates, it reasons, it challenges the topic. Let's look at an example. So the first example, what is the proportion of graduates entering the civil service who attended the pre-92 UK universities? Okay, so what is the proportion of graduates entering the civil service who attended the pre-92 UK universities? Is this a good research question? Let's look at the second one. Why are graduates from pre-92 UK universities more likely to enter the civil service than graduates from other universities? So which one do you think is better? Well, the second one is much better as a research question. Why is that? Because it's not just a question of the proportion of graduate. Otherwise, this question could be answered really straightforward, like a 12.3%, and that's it. That's it. You don't need to write an article about it. It's a descriptive question. It has just one answer to it, and that's it. That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is to find out what's the reason behind it, what's the comparison behind it, and what are the conclusion we could draw from it. So the second one is examining deeper reasons behind the surface phenomenon. The surface phenomenon is just a number, is higher or lower, but what's the reason behind it is more important. So you can see that, well, this is adopted from Saunders' book. The research question that has evolved from a research idea, research question are much more detailed, are much more profound in a way that it's asking about the the deeper answers of the phenomenon. For example, let's look at this one here, graduate recruitment via the internet. So graduate recruitment via the internet is just a phenomenon. It could go up and down. It could be adopted differently in different institutions. To make it a robust research question, uh, one way is to ask to what extent and in what type of context is internet-based recruitment and selection of graduates effective and why? So hopefully that gives you a taste of what a research question should look like. And these research ideas could be modified easily as a topic for your dissertation. But research question is more precise, asking the spot on, reasons behind the phenomenon. Now, let's talk about the difference between research question, research aim, and research objectives. Okay, so what's research question? We spent all these time talking about research question, and research question is the one most important question in your um, dissertation that dominates, that is the key idea, the key argument, the key question you wish to answer, and that's it. What's research aim then? Research aim is a interpretation of your research question in a different angle or on a different kind of context, but it should be complementary to your research question. So if you like, research aim is just uh, a confirmation or a different kind of paraphrase or interpretation of your research question. However, research objectives are much more than just a interpretation of research question. Research objectives will be even more detailed, even more measurable or testable um, questions or hypotheses that you you propose, uh, and later on to use your evidence, use the data you've collected to prove right or wrong. Okay, so let's use an example to look at this. So we have the research question here, and the research question is, what are the impact of foreign direct investment on local employment market in Great Manchester area between 2012 to 2015? So we're looking at the impact of FDI on local employment in this time frame in Great Manchester. The research aim, like I said, is a interpretation of the research question. So the aim of this research is to assess the impact of foreign direct investment on the local employment market in the period of 2012 to 2015. Okay, so you can see that it kind of interprets a question to a sentence, but research objectives are more detailed. Now we are having a longer list. So research objectives quite often are longer lists, of what you're really trying to test here. So first of all, what we're trying to achieve is to conclude the literature on FDI's impact on local employment and find out whether such study has been done for Great Manchester during the period of 2012 to 2015. So that is the first objective we try to achieve with our uh, dissertation. The second objective is understanding the nature of FDIs in GM and propose hypotheses over the impact these investments have on local job market. So producing the hypothesis is our next objective. And thirdly, we will assess the hypothesis with the data from that's the National Statistics Office, Office of National Statistics, and Manchester City Council. So the third objective is to assess our hypothesis with the data from these two sources of information. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the difference between research question, research aim, and research objectives.